Hi, I'm Rochelle, and you're listening to Box F1 Pod. So just jumping in with a quick pre-intro intro. This week I had a very special guest on, my good friend Dyaus from London, and we ended up talking for 5 hours on accident. So I spent the last couple of days trying to edit that down. And of course, while I was editing, the news about Daniel Ricciardo and Nyck de Vries dropped. So I've added a few minutes covering my thoughts and everything that's gone on at the beginning of part 2, right before the race rhyme. So just keep an eye out for that, and if you notice any Nyck references, which unfortunately there were several of throughout the episode, just know we recorded that on Sunday after the race and before all the news dropped. I guess that's it. Enjoy the episode. Box. Hi, I'm Rochelle, and you're listening to Box F1 Pod. And if you're watching, then you'll see that we're joined by a very special guest, Dyaus, all the way from London. Hi, Dyaus.
Hello. I didn't know that was my introduction yet, but I know. Thanks for having me again. Lovely to join you, and excited to talk through what we're going to go through now.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Dyaus used to come on. He's been on for every Silverstone Grand Prix, I think, since we started.
Not last year.
So,
I did it last year. Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
my memory went blank. But I did it from the States. I was in the US when I actually did it.
Oh yeah, you did. You were in New York.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was my first solo podcast, actually.
Oh yeah, it was. Always here.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I know Dyaus from uni. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to talk about the British Grand Prix and everything that went down. But first, it's time for the digital warm-up. Lap 1. I didn't get to do Austria last week, so I thought we could go over some highlights that happened because it was a big weekend for a lot of stuff. And you watched, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about was, do you like sprint races? Really big.
I like them because I guess there's a bit more action on a Friday leading into a Saturday. Seems like there's more going on. It feels like action-packed each day because at the moment, general sort of Grand Prix weekends, it's more so you could get away with not watching on Friday, then you could watch Saturday after FP3, and then it's like then you watch quality. But I quite like the idea that there's something counting on every day. So yeah, I do watch most of it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, all of Saturday and Sunday, and most of it on Friday anyway, because it means something later on. But obviously, when I'm not at work. What's your problem with it then?
My problem with it is that they put something that doesn't mean anything for the race in the middle of 2 days. Yeah. Like, to me, it would make more sense to make Friday like a sprint race and do like a quali shootout, then the sprint race, and then because everyone wants qualifying count for Sunday.
Yeah.
But then they stuff something in the middle, and then I feel like it's confusing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other thing that came from that weekend was that everyone got a bunch of track limit penalties. I'm going to try to explain this because I've read it like 15 times and I'm still confused what the FIA did, but basically they struggled through everyone struggled. It wasn't like one person, it was literally everyone. During the actual race, I think Lewis was the first one to get an actual 5-second penalty. And he was really annoyed by it. And so he went on the radio and just kept saying, well, did that person get penalized yet? Well, did that person get penalized yet? Until Toto just interfered and was like, we know the car is shit. Can you just drive and stop calling in? Which is very sassy from Toto on the radio.
Just drive. that was my Toto impression.
Is that Austrian?
Well, it was meant to be. But no, that was weird, I think. I think it was him and, was it Yuki Tsunoda, who were the first 2 drivers to get pulled up on it? But yeah, because Lando was complaining every lap while he was stuck behind Lewis he was probably stuck behind for like 5-6 laps. Hamilton's gone off every turn, everywhere. And to be fair, that was the only way he stayed ahead anyway, because as soon as he got the third sort of warning, and he stayed inside the track limits when he got overtaken. So it's clearly just pushing it. But yeah, it was weird. I don't think anybody understood what was going on. And then even after they gave all the penalties, but then it still changed even later.
Yes. So from what I understand, Aston Martin filed a complaint that they didn't file enough penalties during the race. So they had to review like 1,200 instances, found 81 official ones. But then because there were so many, they had to like change the system of how they gave points. Because I think originally it's you get 4 warnings and then you get 5 seconds off. And the 5th one after that is a 10-second penalty. But because there were so many, they just ended up doing 5 seconds for every 4. Otherwise, I don't know where people would have ended up. It would have been like Logan would have won the race or something.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton probably would have come about 15th.
Yeah.
Going off everywhere. Yeah, because after that, then what would it be? Would it? So after the 4th infraction at 5 seconds, does it then go up? Every infraction is 5 more seconds. So if you did your 5th and 6th, it'd be 10 and 15. Is that what it was?
The normal one, I think, is 4, 5 seconds, then 5th, 10 seconds, then 4 more, 5 seconds, and 5th, 10 seconds.
Oh my God.
But to make their life easier, they made everything 5 seconds. But
cool.
So this is the one I don't understand, because apparently Esteban was the worst one out of everyone, and he had 30 seconds taken off of. He had 4 penalties, which somehow translated to 30 seconds, which I didn't understand.
Sorry, go on.
No. What were you gonna say?
I said he may as well have not raced.
No,
Imagine that you race for 2 hours. Blood, sweat, and tears. Lose a bit of weight as well, and then 30 seconds added on.
The funniest part is that he didn't know until after. So his entire like post-race radio message with his engineers, like, we're so great. Like, we didn't get a single penalty. Like, we're amazing. And then he was the worst one. Like, he somehow cut off half of the track. Like, I saw like a graph on Twitter where someone was like, he literally didn't race for half the track, for half the laps. That's how off he was.
Oh, God.
But, like, I don't understand, because how does, like, 4 infringements translate to 30 seconds? Because 4 infringements is 5 seconds.
Might have been.
Or he had.
No idea.
He had
4 lots.
4.
That's like. So that would have been what? 25, 30?
That is so many.
No, that's like 24. That's well, from the sounds
Esteban.
of it. Yeah.
He was so cocky after, so he's like, I'm the only one that didn't go off. And then he was the worst one.
It. No, that's wild. I mean, to be fair, they said that they want to, people suggesting should get gravel traps everywhere around there because it's too easy to go around, as in to go off, because then at least people know. I mean, which would probably make it better, because at least then people are on track. It's a bit shit when placings are decided after races. Well, not even after races, but even during the race, you know, like if people are getting 5-second penalties here, then everywhere. Because then as soon as it happens, you look on the left of the screen and work out where they would come down. Like, so, you want it to be all just kind of left out and sorted there, not afterwards.
5 hours afterwards. That's insane. Well, I mean, 1,200, to be fair, 1,200 instances to review. I understand the time it took them, but that's like a while. Like, it's so unfair to like have to change everything.
But retrospective action is always shit. I mean, the only thing that I think could be done retrospectively is Lewis getting the 8th World Championship from Abu Dhabi again. I mean, if they do...
What a shock that you feel that way.
Grant him a posthumous 8th World Championship in like 50 years. If I'm still
he'll be dead and he'll suddenly get the 8th. He'll get the 8th. He doesn't need that one.
Yeah, no, that's
do
true,
it.
But that's a conversation for another day. But that's, like I said, retrospective action. I'm not a fan of it, but that's probably the only one I'd be willing to accept.
For those of you who can't tell, Dyaus is a big Lewis fan, which is new to the pod. It brings a new vibe to the pod.
Yeah.
I'm not a Lewis fan. I'm just not a Lewis fan.
Yeah. You're a Max fan, which is arguably even worse. As in, for a neutral, they must be thinking, well, it is worse. But
he's nice. I feel like you see Max in an incorrect light. I think
I think Christian Horner makes me dislike Max, in all fairness, probably.
Which is wild to me, because you love pettiness. I feel like you're a big fan of pettiness. You love when people are dramatic for no reason. Yeah,
I mean, I know, but that's part of my problem. I like when I'm potentially like being petty, but if somebody else is, it's kind of annoying.
That's true. We had that. Wait, I'm going to take this out. But remember that argument we had? Our one fight in uni was when you called me a snake when I did the exact same stuff you did, like, before. Like,
yeah, but I always live by do as I say, not as I do. So
fair. I guess that makes sense by English.
Don't edit that. that was fucking jokes. Can't believe that you just brought that up. But yeah, what a snake you are.
I am a snake.
Look at us now. Who would have thought?
Look at us now. Insert Ryan Gosling meme. Was that the Ryan Gosling? Is that Ryan Gosling?
Paul Rudd, but decent.
My bad.
Picture.
Paul Rudd. I was going to say something before you said... maybe. I was going to say that the problem was that the rain the day before washed off a lot of the paint. And because the cars are so much wider now, they can't actually see the lines. So them going off is an FIA issue because they didn't have enough time to repaint the track.
Okay. So what was the paint? Like chalk? How can the paint just come off like that?
I guess it was raining really hard. I know. Yeah, get better paint.
Climate change and all that acid rain, I guess. But who knows? That's such a stupid thing to happen.
I know. But then I feel like if it's the FIA's fault, if they're unable to like make it obvious for the drivers where they're going off, how can they penalize them?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I guess it's just in the book, but
they love their book.
It's not like they used the rules properly. Insert AD 2021 reference again.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, that's
technically, it was just an interpretation of the rules. Yeah.
Side note: I went to F1 Arcade like a few weeks ago. Have you seen?
How was it?
It's sick. I'm so shit because I can't even drive, can I? So like, I'm like, oh my God, this is so stressful with the paddles and that.
Wait, like a regular car, you can't drive?
No, I can't drive a car.
You don't know how to drive a car?
No, never had to. But yeah, no, so F1 Arcade is sick though, because obviously you've got the steering wheel, like the thing, you're in a seat and it vibrates when you're going over the bumps and you're in the gravel. And on easy level, there's like 5 levels and you get 5 races or 6 races and there's 5 levels. First one's easy because it's like brake assist, like line assist, whatever. But then my mate was like, come, we'll go to the hardest level next. He can drive, obviously. But I didn't move off the grid, the start grid. I just kept spinning. I was like, what's going on here? And I couldn't do it. It was crazy. I was like, did you know that they accelerate and brake with their fingers as well?
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea.
It is wild how much they're doing at one time. I was going to talk about this later, but I guess I'll talk about it now. I went karting last week.
Yeah. Which
I feel like if I had done sim like you did first, would have probably helped me. It was hard as fuck. It is so difficult. It like, first of all, I was sore for like 5 days after. Like, and it was funny because all of my friends I went for my friend's birthday party and she had different muscles that were sore than my muscles that were sore. So clearly we were like using, but it takes like your entire core. It takes all your arms. Like, I don't know how Lance drove with broken wrists because my wrists were so sore after like gripping the steering wheel.
Yeah.
It is hard. I don't know how it's so hard. And also, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
So were you good?
No, I finished P10. I had an incredible, we had a qualifying and then we had the race, and on the race start was really good for me. I overtook like 2 cars and then it just went downhill from there. I finished where I started, basically.
So who would you liken yourself most to on the grid for that sort of?
Well, as George Russell said, consistency is key. And since I started and finished 10th, George, I'm George Russell. God.
Yeah, to be fair, you might whine as much as him as well.
I do whine. I was talking so much in my car. I was literally like, there's no engineer to tell me what to do, so I was engineering myself.
Yeah.
There was no one telling me what to do. And then people got so aggressive. People were bumping me. Like, people overtook. I had 3 cars overtake me at once, and they all bumped me from, like, every side. And I was so angry. It took me at least, 3 hours to recover. So I don't know how they do their post-race interviews without, shitting on every single person on the grid. Emotions get so high. I was so pissed off. I couldn't even look at the people that bumped me. I was so mad. It's adrenaline.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an adrenaline.
You'd be definitely more annoyed by your friends doing it as well. Do you know what I mean?
They weren't my friends. They were my friend's friend. I didn't know them.
So you're allowed to call them a bitch then?
I am, yeah. It was her boyfriend, so I couldn't actually call him a bitch, but I thought it.
Dickhead.
What am I?
No, that's cool that you went though. I mean,
it was really fun. I think she picked it because of me. It's hard.
Yeah, my friends always want to go. I'm like, can't bother.
You should go.
It's lazy. I'd rather watch it.
It's a full body workout. It's actually a full body workout. Yeah. You're gonna be dead. Well, actually, you're more fit than me, so maybe not. But
not at the moment. I'm got really.
You're
fit
at
the moment.
Fitter than me, in your natural state. You don't actually have to work out to be fitter than me.
Yeah, that's true.
You know that Max is ranked top 20 in the world for Sims?
My God, he needs to get a life. He drives for a living anyway. Just go and do something else.
He also is top 20 in the world for FIFA.
Okay, fair enough. I hate him more now. How do they have enough time? I don't get it. But yeah, no, fair enough. He's basically just that kid that love to hate him because he's good at everything.
I know. Alex was saying that he's so chill before a race that he's buying a new FIFA pack, right? On Sunday mornings. What's a pack? I don't know what that means, but
Ultimate Team, buying new players to make his team better.
Oh, so that's what he's doing on a Sunday.
You're oh my God, I got new players. Who? Alex Albon does that.
Alex said that Max does that he's so chill that he's playing FIFA in the morning before a race.
Okay, yeah, good, because I was going to say Alex Albon can't afford to be doing that apart from this weekend. Fuck me.
No, Alex has been really good this year.
Yeah, that's
Have you seen what he's driving?
Yeah.
He's gotten points consistently.
No, and you know what? He's made, he has been good, and he's shown the difference in level between him and Logan Sargent, hasn't he, really?
Yeah.
He's definitely, he's Logan Sargent, isn't it, his teammate?
It is Logan.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, fuck. You know what? I was like, oh my God, it's not Latifi still, is it?
Nope, he's long gone.
No, oh, thank God. No, I was like, Williams. Oh well, you talk about this later, I guess. But no, Alex Albon has been good. He was just in that Red Bull too early. That's all it was.
No, I do love him, even if he's not a world champion. I do think he's a great person to have on the. I love him. I also love his girlfriend. I don't know if you love his girlfriend as much as I do, but I do love his girlfriend. Have you seen his girlfriend?
I'm about to have a look now.
Her name is Lily. She's a professional golfer, and she is cool as fuck. Their TikTok and social media presence in general is just out of this world.
She plays golf, does she? No, she's a bit more interesting.
Professional golfer.
Yeah.
I think that's the fun. Him and Valtteri are the only one with who are wags in reverse.
She plays on the LPGA tour. Wow.
She's really good. She's so cool.
She's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is sick. What? And what did you say? Her and Valtteri, they're all wags? Actual wags?
They're reverse wags, yeah. So Tiffany is a professional
they are
cyclist.
reverse wags, yeah. What would you call them?
Yeah. Valtteri's girlfriend is a professional cyclist.
They're Habs.
Hab.
Husbands and boyfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such shit chat, but I just had to work it out.
No, Habs is good. Alex, I remember went to one of her tournaments and was holding a banana, and he was it's hard being a wag. Because he was giving her potassium. He hashtag potassium was funny. Anyway.
So lame. So lame.
But that's what makes Alex great. Yeah, he's so lame, it's adorable. That's what his superpower is.
No, he's a cool guy. Look, I think he is cool. To be fair, all of the drivers seem like they've got a bit about them in terms of like they're all likable in their own way. Like there's a driver for everyone. So everyone who watches F1 can like a driver.
Or there's me who likes all of them at the same time and feels bad for all of them all the time.
Yeah, but that's just maybe
a me problem.
Yeah, that is a you problem. That's like something you need to work on.
I'll get right on that.
Be more decisive.
I can't.
Be more decisive.
I love them all.
Oh, that's a very Alex Albon type thing to say.
I know, I'm very Alex coded. Wait, so you can think of a positive thing for Max?
Yeah, he's an amazing driver, isn't he? Yeah,
besides driving.
That was, I mean, besides driving.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like outside of the car? Is there something about
personality? His personality.
You know what? This season, I think I've started to like him a bit more. I've warmed to him because there's no, and even last season, because there's no like, he's got no competition. He seems a lot more.
He texted me this morning that he's a C word.
yeah, because he is. But you asked me to name one thing I kind of is a positive, and I would say this season he's shown that he can like. He's a lot more respectful towards other drivers now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can actually see that. I think in the past, because it was like sort of, I want to get to that level. I want to be the champion. It was kind of like, oh, fuck everyone else. But now he's like, he shows respect and like to everyone. I'm not just saying it to certain drivers, but like even just like the camaraderie between him, Alonso, and Lewis was something that you wouldn't have expected, and you wouldn't have seen. And also, you wouldn't have seen those drivers like warming to him as well. So it shows like that. Everyone's kind of come around to each other. I don't know. It seems a bit too friendly because Red Bull are on their own, like into the distance. Everybody else is just kind of like, because nobody else had a problem with each other. So now it's just like quite a friendly paddock in a sense.
But do you not think that Max being chill with Lewis has to do with the fact that Mercedes and Red Bull are no longer like in a fight with each other because their relationship is a toxic one? Lewis and Max used to get along.
100%. That's the reason that it's chilled out now. Because well, no, neither of them was a threat to each other. Lewis, I reckon, is just doing those reverse mind games for now until his car's okay. But
I talked about you saying this 2 weeks ago. I was like, Dyaus thinks that Lewis is fully mind gaming Max, but I don't think he is.
Yeah,
I think they've just reverted.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully, but it'd be the battle that everyone wants to see still, I guess. Oh, what a shame. But no, it is still the battle that I think everybody would love to see for one more season at least, because obviously don't know how long Lewis has got. The same 4 more years, aren't they? But 4 or 5
He said he's got
years,
5 years left in him.
I'm sure Toto said 4.
Okay, 4 or 5 years. That's
no.
lot.
What I'm saying is they didn't agree. I'm sure that I read and I saw like 2 different things, and I was like, oh, what's wrong with the 5th year? But
wait, you're right because they haven't signed his contract yet.
Yeah, but they said months ago that they were going to take half an hour over coffee.
Oh yeah, we'll go for a coffee and we'll sign it.
I was like Grindle.
So I was Scottish instead of
Austrian, yeah. But now when they're back together, like fighting, then it'll be good because I don't think there's another rivalry. The only other rivalry in there that's as interesting as that is like Lewis and Alonso, but
they're friends now. They're too old to rival.
Are any of them actually friends? Do you know what I mean? There's camaraderie, and then there's like I think they're friends. But the thing is, they might be friends with each other when they're not having to race each other like that. I don't know. Look, we'll see. I think time will tell when the cars are all closer together in performance. If there was more of them in a title race, if it was a 3 or 4 way title race, I think it'd be quite different. Look, Rosberg and Hamilton were best mates. And then
that's so sad to me. That is so sad.
But you get what I'm saying? Like that's how easily I can change. But we'll see.
That I was going to talk about this later, but I'll talk about it now because it's related. But so Lando was asked during in the post qualifying press conference. that Max said in an interview prior they were best friends. And he was asked if he felt that their friendship was going to be tested during the race, which, first of all, was a dumb question. But Lando was like, no, we're just going to do what we're going to do. Like, who's going to, like, predict that their friendship's going to fall apart? But the funniest part of that he said was that he was like, we, like, hang out when we're because we both live in Monaco. We, like, don't text every day, but we go to dinner or go for a crepe together. And in another interview, Max was like, yeah, we just go for crepes together. And I just find it so bizarre that they're like, I'm going to take them out. This is ridiculous. I find it funny that their like relationship is based on crepes, that they just like go out for crepes in Monaco together.
What crepe do you think they get? I reckon Lando's a crepe Suzette.
Lando is for sure a crepe Suzette. He 100%. Cannot handle any other flavor.
Yeah.
Max might be a Nutella guy.
Yeah, 100%. He plays video games all the time. He's like a 15-year-old.
He's like a 15-year-old, but yet still has a more mature palate than Lando, who can't handle anything besides sugar.
Yeah. But Lando's literally like a 12-year-old, and he looks like one. So...
he is. That's funny. I agree.
No, I didn't know that. Well, it's good that they hang out like that.
Lap 2. F1 news and rumors. So the first bit of F1 news was that Ryan Reynolds bought a stake in Alpine through the same program business corporation that Michael B. Jordan. So Michael B. Jordan also owns a stake in Alpine. But that's less important because Ryan Reynolds has a history of reviving sports teams, which puts a lot of pressure on Alpine.
Yeah. Money. Do you think there'll be all the marketing again, a bit like the Wrexham do? Wrexham
has had such a great revival.
Wrexham is like real life Ted Lasso, like.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I can't wait for like, I don't know, insert famous NFL coach to go to like Wrexham and like take them to the Premier League or something. It's like a story waiting to happen.
Do you think they'll make it to the Premier League?
I don't know if they pump enough money in.
He's made it up, right? They've gone one level up.
So he's in like the professional football like divisions now. So it's like Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two. Then it's like Conference, which is like not professional. It's still professional now because everybody's full time, but they've got to like League Two, so the fourth tier. So they're in like.
So there's 3 more levels.
Yeah. But the gap between them is quite high. But I mean, look, if he's going to do it for a long time, who knows? Could be real life Ted Lasso. The first person they should sign is definitely Jamie Tart. Get him in.
I love Jamie. Poupette.
Hey, Roy, you dickhead. But no, it'd be interesting to see what he does with it.
Pierre Gasly is a great person for him to use for marketing.
Like an ambassador.
Yeah. Of Alpine. Yeah. He's definitely better than Esteban.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't know how, but they just, they seem a bit bland. But like.
Pierre seems bland.
Yeah, just like it's an odd take. He just does. I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's because you get less access to the drivers who are further back in the grid. Do you know what I mean? Like, think about Max, Lando, Lewis, Charles, Carlos. Like, you see loads more of them. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I mean. The PR train at Alpine isn't as good. I don't think it's not as like.
Pierre has so much personality. Did you not see the tripod clip?
Why are you so offended?
Because oh my God. Pierre is like I saw dripping with Riz. And you're like, oh, he's bland.
I don't mean in that sense. I mean, like, in terms of if you're new to the sport, right, you're not thinking Gasly because in terms of like, oh, yeah, I've seen him loads of places before. I mean, obviously, individually, yeah, of course. I don't know him personally. I forgot that you did.
Dyaus, I will tell you that I have a friend who has never watched a second of F1 through Drive to Survive or regular, and she consistently sends me edits of Pierre Gasly.
Okay, look, I'm clearly not I'm clearly not part of the Pierre Gasly fan group or whatever. I've not joined the call, but it must exist, and I apologise for my my poor
Do you
take
not
on
think
it.
he has like an excessive amount of Riz?
Oh, I know, he's a really handsome bloke, yeah. But I mean, and he's got a French accent, isn't he? So spot on. Like, no, it's literally got it all. What I mean is, I don't see enough of him to be able to be like. That's why my perception was like, oh, bland. Maybe that was wrong, in all fairness, granted. But like, I don't see. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could happily say like, oh, Carlos does, if I thought Carlos does, because you see a lot more of him, like VTs on that sort of Sky and little clips and whatnot. They come out of the drivers from the top 3 or 4 teams. Do you know what I mean? They come out from there. Whereas Gasly's just not in the limelight as much. If he was at one of the big 4 teams, I think you'd see a lot more of him.
For sure, yeah. He's not been on the big. He's not been in major teams, so he's not been on official like media type things as much. Yeah. But on TikTok, he is wildly cool.
Yeah,
Okay, lap 3 off the grid. So basically, anything that's been happening that's not literally on the track. George gifted Toto. Well, okay, so there was a TikTok. It wasn't a TikTok. Fine. There was a video from Mercedes. George walked into Toto's office wearing a Hawaiian shirt type thing with like Toto's face all over it.
Oh my God.
And then gifted Toto the same shirt, but with Susie Wolf's face all over the shirt.
Oh, that's sweet.
I think it's cute. But I also don't believe that George came up with it himself.
Yeah, I presume that is what they call the PR machine. It's coming. Oh, right, let's get a driver to do this. It's like, oh my God, they've got so many things to be doing. Right, let's just get someone like this out.
And Lewis would never do
people. No, but they've become those people, haven't they? Like these like in the past, they would never really were, but like team principals and drivers are like major celebs of these teams that are like so marketable now. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got to do this sort of PR stuff. It's kind of cool. That's what I'm saying. The big teams all have this. The biggest teams do have that. That's what I'm saying with the Ryan Reynolds thing. Well, Alpine, but like imagine that you'd have like I don't know. Who would you have? Who would you pick from Alpine?
Pierre
or Esteban?
Esteban over Pierre to market?
No, fine, okay, but you'd go and pick Gasly then to go and like go to Ryan Reynolds and do you know what I mean? Like that is so much more like that's getting more views than what they get now. Is what I'm saying. Like maybe that marketing sort of thing.
No, I for sure agree. But like Toto is much more of a personality than.
Yeah, because Toto does quite a few interviews and stuff, doesn't he? He did. I watched. There was something on Sky the other day about leaders. He's done like the High Performance podcast. He's done quite a bit, and it's quite interesting, like his rise. And there's just there's a big fan fetish about Toto, isn't there? Do you know what I mean?
He's hot.
Like, no, I know. But what I'm saying is, I'm just saying like. There's more of a fan fetish than there is for what is it, Otmar?
Yes. But that is like self-explanatory. Do you like Grealish?
Yeah, I think he's a good crack. He's fucking hilarious, yeah.
Is he... What's his name?
Jamie Tartt?
Yeah.
They did an interview, didn't they? Like with Ted Lasso, and Gary Neville was like, oh, is that him? And he's like, they're not meant to be those players, but they're inspired by. So like Roy Kent is inspired by Roy Keane, and Jamie Tartt like is kind of inspired like a loose inspiration. And I was like, that's total garbage. That's literally Jack Grealish.
It is.
That's literally Roy Keane.
The only difference is that Tartt is better.
No, but Tart's also Mancunian in this, and
is Tartt not a better player than Grealish? I thought Grealish was pretty inconsistent until recently.
What are you on about? Jamie Tartt is a fictional character.
No, I know, but I'm saying we're basing personality off of Grealish, not performance off of Grealish.
What? So what are you saying? Are you asking me if Jamie Tartt's a nicer person?
No, I'm asking if Grealish is as good of a player as Jamie Tartt is in the show.
Oh my God, what a question to be asked. Dyaus, it's F1 podcast today. We're going to talk about Jamie Tartt and Jack Grealish, fiction and real life. Who is better? Now, I can't actually tell you because it's such a crazy question. But Jamie Tartt maybe would be considered. I don't know. No, what's his name? Grealish would be better because Jamie Tartt went to City, couldn't hack it, went on Love Island, then ended up back at AFC Richmond, and went and did a bit. But Grealish would be better.
But didn't Grealish go through a whole period where he was like not great, and then like he was forced to like try harder?
Yeah. And now he's been really good, so
it's the same. Okay, cool. Got it.
Oh my gosh. Bloody soccer, man.
Moving on, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Big topic. So he started filming his film at Silverstone. So I think there were some scenes that were shot with him. We saw him walking out in a suit with the other guy that's playing the young guy whose name I don't know the actor's name. At first I was like, isn't he a little too old to play a racing driver? But apparently he is playing an old racing driver that's like been called to like come back and help, which seems unlikely. He's like 60. I don't imagine any 60-year-old Formula One driver being like, help me out. But I also thought it was funny. He described his hot laps as warm laps when he was driving because he's like, I'm not that good.
Oh, that's decent. That is decent.
It is good. But there was one thing that was shared from the filming of the movie, which was basically like the like stats that the pit wall looks at during the race. And I don't know enough about F1 to know whether the stats are realistic or not, but apparently they were like pretty off. But a former F1 engineer was like, oh, they tried really hard, so it's like, okay. It's like not the worst thing. Like you'd imagine Hollywood to do much worse with F1 stats than they did. And then someone commented on that and said, I'm surprised that Lewis didn't give them tips since he's so keen to share his telemetry. And then someone else commented on that and said, just ask Jensen Button, and then was like, the DTS fans won't understand this, which I did not. As a DTS fan, I did not understand what he was talking about. So I Googled it, and it turns out in like 2012, Lewis and Jensen were teammates, and Lewis was unhappy with the setup of his car, so he tweeted out the telemetry to prove that like the setup forced him to be worse than Jensen. And he got in a lot of trouble. Not a lot of trouble. He was just told to take the tweet down, basically. But Jensen was really annoyed. And then team was like, oh, well, he disclosed a lot of, like, really, like, specific information that we would never share with other teams. But it's okay. But the point I was making with this is that it's, like, very petty for Lewis, considering the Lewis I know now. Who is like, I think the men and women of the factory, blah, 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 blah. But like, this is like Christian Horner level pettiness.
That's brilliant. I never knew that happened. That's great. Imagine that. Jensen Button's like buzzing. Yeah, good quality today. Gets a text. Oh, Lewis has tweeted. Have a look. What's my data doing on there? Oh, shit.
But, okay, you love that. Why don't you love it when Christian Horner does it?
No, I said it was funny. I don't know if I love it. Look, I'm extremely biased. Do you know this?
Yeah, I do.
Biased Dyaus.
Biased.
So, I don't know. I just think, yeah, it's weird. Also, how have you managed to shoehorn into the big story that is Brad Pitt at F1? That is crazy. You've done a really good job there. Max Verstappen's PR machine is working in all sort of ways.
No, but this made me love Lewis more. It's not working towards Max. It's working towards Lewis.
What, you like that? I
love it. My biggest issue with Lewis is that he seems so PR trained. Everything he does feels forced. Like, oh, like, I love everyone. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I love the pettiness. It's so great. It feels much more natural. I feel like getting salty that your teammate outperformed you and tweeting something out feels a lot more natural than being like, thanks for the...
That is brilliant. That's like a sort of tweet and next, like, sorry, wrong group chat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, one of those, like, it's meant to be on my private feed. Shit, I've just told everyone what the problem was.
He didn't get into any trouble, by the way. McLaren was like, it's like super sensitive information, but it's fine.
Yeah, what can you do, innit? What can you do? Wow, what a sort of bitchy moment. That is brilliant. That is
it's great. I know. I love pettiness. Back to Brad Pitt. That was so irrelevant. But back to Brad Pitt, there was a great selfie that was taken by Pierre because he's got Riz, which you don't believe. But he's got Riz.
I didn't say that. I said, yeah, that's cool. He's just not as in the public eye as much.
Right.
So it's easy to perceive him as not being that guy.
That's true. Okay, fine. Fair. You agree he has Riz. He posted a picture with a selfie with him, Charles, Lewis, who's doing a peace sign in the back, and then Brad Pitt in the middle.
Lewis looks proper like he's a happy school kid on a trip.
Does.
Like, quick, get in. With somebody getting a selfie stick out.
He looks like the school kid, despite the fact that he's producing Brad Pitt's movie. He should look much more chill than, like, anyone else. He, like, owns Brad Pitt.
Who's
That's Charles.
He owns Brad Pitt?
He's producing his movie.
Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah. It's his production company. He opened a production company to produce films.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't know he was doing this one. To be fair, I've been really, like, delayed on the Brad Pitt.
That's where the tweet came in, like, he's participating. He should have contributed more to the telemetry, like,
you know what would have been really funny? If they'd have used the same telemetry from those tweets, found the tweet, and then and used that. That'd have been so good. That'd have been so good. Like a little, you know, like in films, they do like little shitty in-jokes that you, like, so only, like, a select few people know. If they'd done that, that would have been really good.
No one else would get it, but we would get it, yeah.
I bet you there'll be music in that film, which is like Lewis is produced. And then at the end, you'll see XNDA or whatever his name is. Like, whatever he's decided, that will be his, music by soundtrack, XNDA, something like that. Has to be.
Totally would. Wait, by the way, did you see the whole thing where Charles went viral with his piano thing on Spotify?
Singing as well?
No. He wasn't singing. He just composed a piano piece that went number 6 in the world. Which the whole joke was that he wasn't even number 6 in the world championship, but he was number 6 on Spotify.
That's wild.
I know.
That's so offensive. That's so offensive. Imagine reading that.
I would be so upset.
It must have been. Was it good? I need to.
It was a lovely piece. It was very sad. He was asked if he would.
I can imagine so.
I know. He was asked if he would collaborate with Lewis, and he was like, if Lewis is willing to be sad on a track.
Oh, I did see. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I just not heard the song, but I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, if Lewis is willing to be sad. My God, yeah. It would be like a wah, wah, wah.
All right. We haven't even gotten to the race. This is insane. Okay.
Yeah, too good.
Celebs at Silverstone. There was Pep, which was great. Paris Hilton, which we will get into. And then there was Florence Pugh, who Martin really loved a lot. She looks wild these days. She was like in full on like graffiti denim, like with a buzz. Yeah, it was a lot. Then there was
pink buzz. Yeah,
which was a lot for poor Martin Brundle. I think that's too much for him. Yeah. Cara Delevingne was there, who literally refused to like even look at Martin Brundle. He was like, "Can I talk to you?" And she was like, "No." And then she like turned to her friend and was like, "Can you hear him? I can't hear him." It was like so rude. Like she's not required to talk to anyone, but also it was rude.
The grid walk is like holy.
I know, so he clearly doesn't watch it.
Like, people should be. That was on the grid walk.
Yeah. You can tell who watches the grid
so,
walk
like,
and who doesn't.
Yeah, some people just there for like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm here.
Wait, did you see the
like,
interview with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas? So they were 2 weeks ago, before Austria.
Actually, Michael Douglas this time.
Yeah, she was. So they're on the grid walk, and Brundle stops them and starts to ask them questions about their, like, work or whatever. And Michael Douglas interrupts him, and he was like, I just have to stop you. Like, you are the best part of F1. Like, we watch you every single week, and you, like, the work you do is incredible. And Martin was like, okay. Like, he was, like, uncomfortable with people, like, acknowledging him.
Yeah.
That Cara Delevingne did the exact opposite, where she refused to even, like, acknowledge his presence. And then there was also Liam Payne, but, like, I don't think that's a testament to Brundle. I think that's a testament to Liam Payne's, like, desperateness to be on camera. No offense to Liam Payne.
Did you know he does TikTok lives now?
I don't do... Oh, he does. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's wild. You know when, like, you're that level of celebrity, that list, that whatever list you'd call it, BA list, yeah, when you're around there, you don't need to force it. But I seen him on TikTok live, like, yesterday. I was like, wait, is that like a fake account? Clicked on it, and it was. I was like, oh my God.
Crazy. Also, after the race, I saw Rebecca was there. Rebecca from Ted Lasso. Hannah Waddingham.
Oh.
She took a selfie with Brundle. It's cute.
Oh, so she was, at least she was nice.
Yeah. Someone was nice to him. And then obviously Shakira was there, who you didn't know they were dating until today.
I have been out of the loop. But then again, is it confirmed? That's the thing.
Okay, you know who introduced them?
Not Gerard Piqué.
No, it wasn't. Carlos. Yeah. Really?
Respect. Edit this. When you ask me, do I like Carlos? Say, yes, I do.
They're a good couple. They're a good match.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But no, like, he was with Scherzinger before. No. Shakira. Like, he's going for, like, don't get me wrong, Shakira in terms of, like, music, what she's done. But he's just, like, is crazy sick. But, like, he's just going for, like, the most unattainable women for anyone else. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, anybody in their right mind think, yeah, I'm gonna go after. Like, Shakira's always been that one. Do you know what I mean? Like, out of everyone, been like, Gerard Piqué's so lucky. Like, do you know? Everyone's always said it. And then Lewis just appears to have bagged this sweet one, the sweetest of ones. He doesn't need an 8th championship if he's with her. That is his 8th championship.
Shakira is a win,
yeah, man.
For sure. She's a decade older than him.
That is cool.
Which is wild.
Age is but a number. So she's been Miami, Monaco, and the Spanish Grand Prix, and then come to Silverstone as well. So what you're saying that because she's now doing that Nicole Scherzinger thing where she's like everywhere.
Yeah, but she's doing it chiller. Like, whereas Nicole Scherzinger was like screaming out of the like she was just running out of the garage, like screaming out of the top of her lungs. Not that Lewis is performing at the rate to scream at the top of your lungs, but I don't think Shakira would either way. That concludes our digital warm-up. On to the race rhyme. Hi, I'm Rochelle, and you're listening to BoxBox F1 Pod. Welcome to part 2 of the British GP debrief. Before we kick off the race rhyme and the analysis, I wanted to jump in super quick and give my thoughts on the announcement from AlphaTauri that Daniel is going to be replacing Nyck de Vries starting with the Hungarian Grand Prix. I think this is wild and at the same time totally expectant of Red Bull, but I do think it's a little bittersweet. So I'll start with the bits that annoy me about this and end with what I love about it, which I think we all know what I love about it. But anyways, first of all, my thoughts on Nyck. He was a Formula 2 champion. He was a Formula E champion. He was an F1 reserve driver. All great things on a resume, but he never actually competed in F1. Remember last year when he couldn't even get out of his car? Like, he had to be pulled out. It's like a huge shift in like your mental like mentality, your physicality, all of these things that go into driving an F1 compared to other sports. Plus he's 28, which is not young for a race car driver, and it's certainly not young to start in a completely new faction of like the sport. There's a learning curve, and I definitely think that 10 races is not enough time. And I know people are on a time crunch, they need him to perform. I get all that, but I just feel bad because I do think given a bit more time and a bit more space and perhaps a better environment than like hearing Dr. Helmut Marko drop hints to the media that you're not sticking around for long, for like 6 months. It hasn't been 6 months, but like for several months, it can't be easy to perform under those conditions, you know, like I just feel like it's not really fair, but like we all know Red Bull does this. We know they love a mid-season switcheroo out of nowhere, like when people are least expecting it, they're like, yeah, let's replace someone. And I really like, it was rude. It was rude when they did it to Pierre. It was rude when they did it to Alex, and it's definitely rude as they're doing it to Nyck. Like if you're so committed to a mid-year switch, at least wait till the summer break. You know, like maybe to at least have like a sense of finality instead of just randomly dropping it. Like Nyck had a job last week and now he doesn't. I just feel like this move, as much as I understand that Nyck needed to be performing and needed to be delivering something besides what he was delivering, I do think this move was a bit premature. And I just feel really bad for Nyck. He never got his chance to shine. The other thing that was nice about having a rookie on the team is that it really gave Yuki a chance to like thrive as a leader, as a driver, as a person. Like he literally flourished this year in front of our eyes, and it was so good to see. Like I loved seeing Yuki's growth throughout the year, and I'm a little nervous that getting like a very experienced older driver will shift the dynamic of the team and might like stop his growth. If that makes sense, like might stop him where he's at. And like yes, he has more experience on this team specifically than Daniel, but like he's a little baby compared to Daniel. They're like a decade apart. So it'll be hard for Daniel not to be the natural leader. I'm hoping it'll be like an equal situation and that they both have a chance to shine and grow and like do the best they can in a really shitty car, by the way. But anyways, just hope Yuki gets to continue living his best life. And with that being said, I am obviously so thrilled that Daniel is back on the grid. I'm so glad he decided not to hold off for a bigger team, which I think is how he was feeling last year when he was dropped from McLaren. I really hope that the break he's had was enough for him to fully reset and be ready to race with like the vigor he had before he came to McLaren. And also, like, what a dream team. Daniel and Yuki, remember that video they did for Red Bull in the boat where Daniel pushed Yuki off? Great marketing content, and I feel like AlphaTauri social media manager must be, like, over the frickin' moon, because what a duo. Anyways, hopefully by the time I finish editing this in and editing the entire episode, there will be no more news randomly dropped. In the meantime, back to your regularly scheduled program. It's time for the race rhyme. Well, gang, it's finally time for Silverstone, and we've got 4 shots to bring one home. The grid is teeming with celebs like Brad, Cara, and Florence Pugh. And today we learned that Brundle Googles everyone. Like, who are you? Speaking of Google, did you know McLaren's sponsored by Chrome? The branding is super subtle, I know. But if that car is as speedy as Chrome, it's definitely coming home. So let's chat quali. The conditions were mixed. But let me tell you, like the weather, the McLaren was brisk. Also, Checo failed to make it to Q2. Oh, and Max and the pit wall had a little snafu. But by Q3, he rallied and got pole, and was shocked to find Lando and Oscar were also on a roll. There's a lot resting on the shoulders of the Commonwealth's youth. When the lights go out on Sunday, can they follow through? They sure can. The lights had barely gone out and Lando was already overtaking Max. He led his home GP for 4 whole laps before Max was like, well, okay, give it back. And shout out Oscar, who was chilling with Max and Lewis like it was no big deal. But missing from the action, Ferrari and Aston Martin are struggling today for real. Just a few laps into the race, Esteban Ocon is like, I'm outie. Bro, you're the new Wrexham. The time for penalties and DNFs is done. The middle of the race is a little boring. Basically just the cars going vroom vroom. But don't fret, as everyone keeps saying, the threat of rain continues to loom. And then we're blessed with yet another Haas DNF. Kevin's car is on fire, but no one is terrified, because a safety car means free pit stops for all the cars that haven't died. Hards or use softs to pit or not, no one can agree, especially George and Lando, who love to radio in all whiny. But when the racing picks up again, we got battles for days, although Carlos mostly just gets overtook 3 times, which was a dismay. But at the front, Lewis and Lando are battling it out for the British crown, and the roar from the crowd is a deafening sound. Lewis tries and tries again, but Lando's defense is too strong, and Lando's finishes second, followed by Lewis before too long. It's Max, Lando, and Lewis on the podium in Britain. In the words of Paris, they're like totes living. The Hungarian GP is next. Let's see if McLaren continue to flex. The end.
Woo! Wait, slow applause. That was...
It was so bad.
Canned applause.
Almost as loud as the Silverstone audience.
Yeah, that was sick. I love that. That was actually sick.
On to analysis.
Ha.
I'm outie. Peace. Okay. So starting with quali, there were mixed conditions. Commentators kept saying they were not biased, but also kept banging on about this being the best track on the grid, which they always do when it comes to Silverstone. So in Q1, which I think was the most thrilling, or I guess the most action-packed session, Kevin Magnussen broke down in the middle of Q1 and caused a red flag. And then everyone came into the grid, and when Max came into the grid, he tapped the wall, and he broke his front wing somehow. He somehow tapped it so aggressively that he broke his front wing and had to get it replaced. And when he was asked in the post-quali interview if he felt that this would shake his confidence in any way, he said, "Yeah, I'm scared to drive out of my box now." Which... You're rolling your eyes, but I know you think it's funny.
That was funny.
Okay.
I was just letting you finish.
Okay, good. I thought you were rolling your eyes. I'm like, he hasn't done anything yet.
No, it was funny. I actually thought it was really funny. That, to be fair, it made me giggle. Ah, Max, you've turned over a new leaf for me.
I also thought it was funny that he called it an incident. Which was referencing Charles. that
was the bit that I loved actually yesterday. I was like, ha ha ha. At least he's got a bit better.
Part about Max is every time he does anything funny, he like looks around because he feels like he's done something funny and he just wants someone to acknowledge it.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
It was pretty funny, right? Yeah, that's it.
He got that smile, innit? He does that and then he goes,
yeah. Was it good? Did I do well? At the end of Q1 restart, not at the end of Q1, when it restarted, Valtteri ended up getting a double yellow, which I don't know what a double yellow is. Do you know what a double yellow is?
No.
Okay. Well, the commentator said he got a double yellow, which I think just means there was a yellow flag.
What, at the end?
2 yellow flags?
Who got a double yellow?
Valtteri, he got beached in the gravel.
Oh, yeah, no. So he made it into Q2, but the double wave of yellow is basically when he was like he was basically coming to a stop. So that's why they were out to let the other drivers know, like double wave yellow is like car on track, and then he stopped because he had didn't have sufficient fuel or something. I don't know whether he broke down because of that, but he then didn't have fuel, and then that's why
he didn't get break down. He just got beached.
Oh, but then they couldn't take a sample. There wasn't enough fuel for a sufficient sample. So then even though he
relegated to 20th.
Yeah. But that
must have happened Q2, my bad.
I thought that was Q3.
He didn't make it into Q3.
No, you might be right. He got through on times during Q1 for Q2, but then never took part, so it was auto Q2. Auto. Okay, you are right. All right,
okay.
Cool. My bad. Okay. I was just really confused.
Because it was the very end, yeah. Checo, however, was out in Q1. He qualified 16th.
Oh.
And there was a very funny video last week of Christian being asked how he felt about Checo not making it. Last week it was different because it was of all the track limits and everything. And Christian's like response is very like annoyed, but like he's like laughing about it. He's like, how hard is it to make it into Q2? Just like stay within the track limits. But like he's clearly annoyed. It's not like the usual, you know, like in DTS they show Christian being like, yeah, Checo's out, but like Checo's never actually out. Yeah. I think this time he was genuinely annoyed by Checo because he's actually been terrible recently.
Don't know what's happened because he's an absolute rocket ship as well, and you can see that because every race day he looks like the second fastest car out there, and obviously results prove that in terms of like the amount of places he can regain.
Yeah.
But my God, on a Saturday, what is it? Is it just a lapse of concentration? Do you think?
Maybe it's a confidence thing. I don't know what it is, but like he just cannot perform on a Saturday.
He drives like he's hungover on Saturday, like he's been out on Friday, and he doesn't.
Maybe he has.
No, he obviously hasn't. But it's that sort of thing where like no one else is off their game, like relative to where their performance should be. No one else is off their game as much as he is on a Saturday. On a Sunday, like you can't fault him. Like he doesn't really didn't put a foot wrong, but on a Saturday, my word, like he's miles off it. Like I don't know how he didn't. Like, don't get me wrong. In all fairness, this Q1 was like anyone could have got through and anyone could have got knocked out depending on when you went.
Yeah.
Because it was basically whoever went last had the best chance. So.
No, agree. But like also he just keeps setting himself up to do like a recovery race on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not what you want to be, the position you want to be in on a Sunday. You don't want to be recovering every week.
He's never got a chance to win a race, has he really?
No.
And
he won one race.
And it's not ideal for Red Bull either because they've always got... All the other teams have got both. Well, Ferrari, Aston Martin sometimes, but Mercedes at the moment, they're all finishing both drivers in there. Like usually.
And he has the same car as Max.
And if Mercedes or Ferrari start getting second and third, like their car gets really good and they do get podium second and third or second and fourth, they're getting 18, 15, like between like 27 and 33 points every week. That's more than Max is getting on a week. So not that they'll actually lose, but it just closes the gap for no reason. It does.
And speaking of, Dr. Helmut Marko said that there's no one available to replace Checo at the moment, which might be a bit generous. But he also said that Checo's able to perform during races, unlike Nyck de Vries.
It's just so offensive. Why is Nyck de Vries catching strays for no reason, by the way?
I don't know.
So unnecessary. It's such a Helmut thing to do as well.
He's so unhinged. He has zero, like, self-control. He will say whatever comes into his brain.
Is he married?
I don't know. I've never thought about that. No idea. He doesn't seem like a married man.
Bear with me. I'm just having a couple of crisps, yeah.
Okay. The other thing that people have been sharing is the comparison between Alex and Checo in their qualifying results. So Albon finished P13, P18, P10, P10, and I think this week P8. And then Checo finished P20, P11, P12, P15, and P16.
It's not looking good. It's because what's Perez's highest qualification in the last 5 races? Then did you say?
P11.
Fuck me, that's bad.
It's so bad, and the Alex is out qualifying him in a Williams is a little embarrassing. I think he Icarused himself. He literally flew close with the sun. He thought he was... Remember when he was, like, on a roll? He was like, I'm going to win the championship this year. Like, I'm great. And then immediately started to lose excessively.
I think he needs some underhand tactics. I think he needs to go and tweet Max's telemetry from a Saturday compared to his own.
Yeah, he should really learn from his predecessors.
This is the reason why. And then we may all know as to what it is. It's not the telemetry, Checo, it's you. You're right, though. Icarus is a great analogy there.
Q2 was a bit uneventful, and then Q3, Lando almost scored P1 and everyone went insane, and then Max out qualified him. And Lando's only response on the radio was, "Is Zach happy?" And Zach was happy. Zach couldn't respond because he was busy high-fiving every fucking person in the paddock. He was like on a bro roll. He's so annoying. I hate him.
Who?
Zach.
Shall I tell you who he looks like?
Who?
Do you know who? Can you think of who he looks like?
No.
Yeah, just have to check the name. Do you know John Hurd from White Chicks? Warren Vanderbilt from White Chicks. He's Kevin McAllister's father in Home Alone. He looks just like him. Oh my days! Tell me now.
He does. Oh my god.
I was like, yo.
Yeah, he does. He just looks really fucking American.
Yeah, proper. Where's Lando?
So post-quali, there's a really funny picture of, like, I feel like Max got out of his car and looked around and was like, why are you guys here? Like, he's like, this is not what I was expecting. Maybe Lando, but, like, not Oscar. Not both of them. Because he said, well, okay, before we get into that, do you like Oscar?
I do. I think cool, man. Yeah, all for it. Got a bit of time for him. Yeah, I just think he's a cool dude. And he's had. You think
he's a cool dude?
And just had a bit of a struggle in it. You know what I mean? That's why. And like.
No, what's his struggle?
Well, he's not driven very well this year. Really.
Oh, so he's had a struggle for like 6 weeks.
I didn't mean like, oh my gosh, he's overcome adversity. To get there. I just meant like he's not really performed as well as he should have. So it was nice to see him do it. That was all.
Oh, for sure. It's very nice to see him up there. But like, okay, personality-wise, which I know no one... Personality-wise.
I not really got a view on it.
Right, because he doesn't have one.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah. But you might see one more now. In like the
nicest way. There's nothing wrong with him.
You might see one more now, though, because he's actually got good position, good points. Like,
maybe.
So hopefully, might have been playing that like, really like quiet card because he'd done nothing of note in the sport yet. So hopefully.
I just still feel like he doesn't have a personality. The biggest personality thing he's done is when he tweeted out that like he was not driving for Alpine and that they announced it without him. I thought he was going to be so sassy this year, and he's got zero.
Yeah. Who knows? Hopefully comes good. He's got the look for an F1 driver, like to be famous. So usually, I mean, in a year's time, you'll be saying, Oscar has like the most riz. You can't tell me that he don't have riz. Oh my god. So just give it.
Okay, I don't know if I'll be there, but I do agree that I'll probably be like, oh my god, he's so great. I love him.
Yeah, exactly. But so just give it time. It's just marinating right now.
Yeah, I'll let him marinate. The last thing we haven't talked about, though, is 2 things. One, Lando, during his post-race interviews, said that he was asked if he was happy with P2, and he literally just went, it's always Max. He just ruins everything for everyone. Which is fair this year. He does.
That is fair. Yeah, he's just taking the fun out of it.
Yeah. It's not his fault. He's not like he's trying to take the fun out of it.
No, it's not his fault. He's just driving really well, and the car's better than what's behind him. But
I think he's doing the bare minimum, honestly.
Yeah, I reckon he could get loads more out of that car.
Yeah.
Like, because he doesn't want to make it... because also, it's kind of one of those, like, if teams catch up and they're like, oh, yeah, we're only second behind him. Turbo.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, it's like 5-6 seconds again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The other great thing that happened post-race is that there was some weird event with McLaren, and I guess Hilton sponsors McLaren, so Paris was there. And I'll link it in the description, but Paris basically like goes up on stage, hugs Lando, and is like, you did amazing, sweetie.
Congratulations, honey.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
It was just so
and then,
weird.
Then Lando just like looks up and down as well.
I don't blame him. I would be so lost if Paris Hilton did that to me.
It was
dressed like that.
He looked unreal as well.
Yeah, she did.
Right.
Poor little Lando couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, she'd go in for a hug, and at that point he'd be like, try and shake her hand or something. Doesn't know. Have you seen that Family Guy one? It's where, like, Stewie's like, there's some girls over there, Brian. Let's go talk to them. Then he runs up to him and goes, hee, then runs away. That's literally
what Lando's like. That's what I always thought. He was scared of girls. He like got a girlfriend last year, but I still think he's scared of girls.
Is he still with her?
No, they broke up last year. I really think he's scared of girls. Is that the smallest violin?
Yeah, violin known to man.
Okay, so the starting grid for the race is Max, Lando, Oscar, Charles, Carlo, George, Lewis, Alex, Fernando, Gasly, Nico, Lance, Ocon, Logan, and then Valtteri qualified 15th, but was disqualified for not having enough fuel for a sample, so he got relegated to 20th, and everyone else got pushed up. So then 15th was Checo, 16th was Yuki, Guan Yu, Nyck, Kevin, and then Valtteri started last. Okay, so the race. The weather could have been mixed conditions, which is what everyone was just like banking for. Like, I feel like everyone just starts every race with like, it's gonna rain, and then it never rains. So the start was like really great. Lando started like angled towards Max, and immediately, I think he like overtook him in like the first corner.
Yeah. Must have been like 60 yards down there. He was past him in a flash.
I know. He tried.
I thought Oscar Piastri was going to get past him as well, to be fair.
He tried. The commentators described him as a little terrier.
Just wait. Because he went around from Max's side, around Lando on the far side, innit? And then Max just got in. Ooh, my heart was racing.
It was so exciting. He said after the race, Oscar said after the race that he was like, there was no point in him trying that hard to get it past Max, because like obviously he wasn't going to maintain it. That wasn't his race, so he just like stopped trying to put all his effort into that. But like he was nipping at his heels for quite a while. Lando led for 4 laps before Max got DRS, though he got DRS lap 2, I think, and then he still managed to keep him at bay for a couple laps before Max.
Feels like Lando should get some points for just like leading a champion.
I know.
It's like nobody. I mean, he led what? How many? He led so many laps before that, like in the other races, up until like last year.
Yeah.
Up until the last race. I think the last race, who was it? Somebody led for a whole lap.
But it wasn't because he was overtaken. It was just like
Pitt, I think.
Yeah, Pitt. Yeah. So it wasn't even that impressive. But like Lando truly overtook Max and won for a consistent amount of time. So that was he should.
He should definitely get 4 extra points. Every lap. They should do that just to bring Max back into sort of like range. For every lap you lead the race, you get an extra point.
Yeah. The next major thing that happened was that Esteban had to retire in like lap 10 because he had a hydraulic leak.
Yeah, bless him.
Okay, so Kevin's engine caught on fire. He had to pull over. The whole thing was like on fire and smoking, and he just got out and caused a virtual safety car, which then transferred into a regular safety car. During the virtual safety car, a couple of cars pitted, but like Lewis and Alonso, who were more relevant, were not able to pit because they had just crossed the pit entry lane. And then the safety car actually released, which is when everyone started to pit, basically. Lando switched to hards, which he didn't want to, I don't think, or he asked if that was a good option, but I don't think they had an alternative other than used tires. Lewis also pitted, but he ended up ahead of Piastri, which worked out for him in the end. But like, also, did you not notice that like all the Mercedes pit stops were super slow? They were all over 3 seconds.
Yeah. They're typically not. I don't think they're not usually sub 2.5, are they? They always seem to be like a 2.7, 2.9 around there.
Yeah,
and
they're
I don't
not
know
great.
why. Yeah,
they're not great at pit stops.
Yeah,
but they're good at strategy.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, yeah.
Ferrari's fast at pit stops, but that never plays out well.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the shit pit stops and good strategy actually. Yeah, okay.
Speaking of Ferrari, Carlos literally asks, "So should I pit?" He was on hard tires at the time, and they were like, "No." And then we see that literally fuck him in the ass, like after the.
What did he say? I trust you. Whatever he said, I literally.
Why would he say that?
Whatever you think, I trust you. So that's signing your death warrant. I
know. Never trust a Ferrari strategist. Carlos is a better... This is what annoys me. Everyone always shits on Carlos, but Carlos is 100% a better strategist than their actual strategists.
No, but also in that moment, if he really had a bit of bottle about him, he would have said. But then he was also probably thinking, I don't want to be wrong. Because they want to be right, but they also don't want to be wrong. When
he knows he's right, he will stand his ground. I don't think he should have said, I trust you.
Yeah, I know. That was a bit extra. You shouldn't trust them after what they do, but whatever.
They're so bad. They're so bad. It's like actually comical. Like it's almost like a joke.
Yeah, it's
how bad they are.
It's like a tip. You know, one of them things where you do that. You know, when you do that.
That's what they're sitting there doing. When they say hold, we'll be right back. They're literally doing this.
How many pit stops? Okay, 2. Pick a tire. Medium. Okay, cool. We'll go there.
The 2 other things that happened during the safety car, I think, were just like Gen Z being whiny as fuck. George basically got told, he was like, did Lewis box yet? And they were like, yeah, he just boxed. And he's like, fuck, blah, 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 fuck.
It's so entertaining. And then when you just see that, all you can picture him is sitting outside the paddock crying after that one in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Amazing, isn't it?
George's radios are so whiny, like consistently every week. He's so complaining. Lando was also very complaining. He got switched to hards, which in hindsight, he didn't have to complain about. But he was very upset. He was like, what tire are the Mercedes on? And they were like, use softs. And he was like, well, that's just great, isn't it? That's just like amazing. Cool.
The super passive aggressive, like.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive. Oh, cheers, thanks. Yeah. Oh, a thumbs up.
Thumbs
good
up.
One. Yeah. Like a Will from the Inbetweeners type. Oh, cheers.
He he is from he is. He also defended it. Like after the race, he was asked like, do you feel bad about like complaining about that strategy? And he's like, well, just because I win doesn't mean it's great that I like end up 10 laps behind because of the strategy. Like, which I guess makes sense, but he just sounds so obnoxious.
Yeah.
But also I thought what was funny about the strategy was that no one seemed to remember what the plan was. Like, Carlos was asked to do plan B, and he was like, yeah, cool. And then, like, 30 seconds later, he's like, what's plan B? Lando was also asked to do plan A, and he literally, like, it was silent for, like, a minute. And then he was like, oh, plan A. Sure, I can do that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird that they forget strategy, though. Although, and then when they said, like, because they said to Carlos, like, somehow, like, oh, can you remind me? And they were like, yeah, we'll let you know. But I was thinking, like, I wonder how this code is going to come out as to what the next strategy is. Like, is it just going to be letters? Is it, like, hieroglyphs? But, like, are they, like, Morse coding it across into, like, another letter that's
how are they communicating it?
Yeah, like, how can you tell somebody strategy if they've forgotten strategy? I don't get it.
I know. Especially, like, they have to rely on the drivers knowing it, because like I remember last year, like Ferrari had like up to like strategy Z, like they're like, are you ready to execute plan X? And like that's like a lot of plans.
Yeah,
to remember.
That's probably part of their problem.
Yeah, probably too many alternatives.
Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what we call it. Yeah.
Okay, so at the restart. Obviously, the greatest thing to come from the restart was the Lando and Lewis battle.
Yes.
he obviously, Lando had no chance to overtake Max is just like, let's pretend Max doesn't exist, honestly.
Yeah.
He's not part of the equation. So, like, Lewis literally tried to overtake Lando like 5 times.
Mm.
And Lando defended him every single time.
Yeah, it's such good driving. It was weird though, because obviously Lewis was getting really close at certain points in the lap, and then as soon as it got towards the last sector, he was gone. Just big. And I think Lewis mentioned that after, but yeah, that car had serious speed. But
I think George even commented. Oh, go ahead.
Go on. You go. No, you go.
I was just gonna say that George even commented that, like, how is McLaren doing that on hard tires? Like, they're so fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, saw that. Oh, the McLaren speed's so impressive. Like, and it was like while he was driving, still like a few laps to go. Impressive.
He just like loves to just throw these random comments out.
Yeah. Just trying to prod the bear.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. But that's a very, like, Mercedes PR strategy, though. They're very, like over-the-top neutral, when in reality they're not.
Yeah, low-key.
Not insulting your team, but, like...
No, not my team. Low-key, they are low-key, like, just antagonistic.
Yeah, but, like, they try to play it off as, like, very...
Yeah. Like, I'm stirring the pot, but I'm wearing rubber gloves, so it's not actually me doing it.
Yeah. This is why I appreciate Christian, because he's so, like, blatant in his pot stirring. He's like, I am stirring the pot. Bye.
No, it's just
and then pisses off.
Christian is just he's just a knob. It's just an opinion, but that's what I cold hard.
He's
opinion.
knobby. I'll admit he's knob adjacent. So in Lewis's and Lando's battle, basically Lewis tried, and then Lando ended up getting ahead of DRS range. So he was like 2 seconds ahead by the time the race was over. So Lewis had no chance, but he tried. And towards the back, Pierre was ahead of Lance, and then Lance overtook Pierre off the track, what looked like off the track, to everyone besides the Stews, who decided there was no investigation necessary, like your opinion on Christian. Just like determined that Lance did not cause an issue, but I think the commentator said it was because Pierre didn't leave enough room for Lance, so there was like no alternative, and that's why he didn't get reprimanded for it. But then they had some sort of contact during that incident, which ruined Pierre's suspension, and then Pierre DNF'd. So Alpine was just like fucked all day. Which is not the Wrexham spirit.
That was peak. That wasn't fun. I thought you said the rectum spirit. I was like, damn, what?
No, the Wrexham.
Yeah, man.
Not the rectum.
Lance Stroll gave back the place and then, didn't give back the place, got overtaken, and then just decided at one of the chicanes, I'm just going to do it, man. And like, instead of turning right, just looked like he went straight through the turn. Bless him. I thought it was going to be another safety car, you know. I thought it was going to be another safety car or virtual safety car or whatever, because it didn't look like Gasly was going to be able to get back. Like, do you know when he was trying
managed
to... Yeah, and it was like...
Yeah. Speaking of fun things, Carlos had a disaster in the last, 10 laps. He got overtaken, 3 cars in one go, basically. He tried to defense against Checo. Checo succeeded, overtook Carlos, and in the same second, Alex was like, I'll do it too, and then overtook Carlos also, and then Charles battled him for, a turn. And then overtook Carlos as well. And it was just sad. Gasly tried to, then his car died, so.
Yeah, it was a shame, actually, because to be fair, I think he was like, I've got him. Yeah, I don't know what happened. He looked like he was going backwards. It looked like the car was treading water, man.
Yeah. Okay, so the end of the race, Max obviously won. And his radio was... Max's radio every week is so, anticlimactic, but like in a very bizarre way, where like he's like trying to diagnose what happened during the race, and everyone's trying to congratulate him, and he's like, yeah, that was great, but like they were like fine, but like we could have done this and this and this, and no one actually wants to do that because he just won the race. But he has nothing else to do besides diagnose the race. He's bored.
It sounds like he just wants to say something other than, yeah, woo, I'm glad we won. So he's just like trying to fill space by saying whatever. It's just like hot air. Yeah, good stuff. Was a tricky drive at times with the wind. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like making up stuff to say, just so it's not like a 3 second. Oh, thanks guys, great job. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not good at small talk. He literally, every time I see him, he reminds me of the guy from Ted Lasso. Who was like, remember when he was like, the Dutch guy who kept being rude, and someone was like, he's not rude, he's just Dutch. Yeah. That's literally Max all the time. Like, it comes off so bizarre, but he just like doesn't like small talk. He doesn't like talking to people he doesn't like. He's just like very
in his own bubble.
Yeah. Lando just went, hey. Podium of a home race.
Yeah, that was decent. Bit of energy.
Lewis sounded exhausted, to be honest. And just like kept talking about how McLaren was a rocket ship.
Man, that McLaren's a rocket ship. I mean, that's definitely super American, but that's like...
Why does he go so American when he speaks?
No, I don't know. Have you ever seen that kid do an interview with him?
Yes, it's so funny.
That's so American. Do I? What? And then all of a sudden there's a bit more London. No, mate, I'm not. Of course I'm not. No, yeah, that was
He does have a weird accent.
Yeah. But even when he's a kid, he doesn't sound American, but he doesn't sound like a classic Londoner. Yeah, he does have a bit to it, so maybe it's just what he was around.
In Park Ferme, I thought it was really cute because Max congratulated Lando before Lando even got out of the car. Then George congratulated Lewis and Lando, not Max. Max doesn't need a congratulations. Lewis and Lando had a hug, which was very cute, and it's all that's being screen grabbed now. And Alex also came all the way to the front to congratulate Lando. I guess it was a big moment for Lando because he's gone P2 before, but not at home. So I guess that makes it a big deal.
And the last P2 was kind of like, oh, I should have won the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was like just an out and out, legit good P2.
There was no chance. Yeah. During Lando's interview, he got attacked by a bee, and so he was literally just like punching a bee the whole time.
Did you see him do it? And then he did it. Yeah. Then he started laughing.
He's like, got it.
And he thought that David Coulthard was laughing, but he wasn't.
He also did not get over the hard tire thing. He was still blaming Zach for it, like even though he got P2, which is basically winning.
Yeah, even didn't he say like, oh yeah, Zach must have made that decision or something like that?
Yeah. Why passive aggressiveness? It's so unnecessary. And then there's Lewis, who just like is so positive. It confuses me. Like how a human being can be that positive. He's like, thanks to the crowd. Congrats to Lando. I'm like, can you say anything about yourself?
Oh, I love it every time we come out here. The crowd is always amazing. What did you guys think? What? It's literally how every single one goes. That's how every single one goes.
The cool down room is always my favorite. I think you love it also.
Yeah.
Just to hear them debrief with each other is great. And you're not going to admit this, but Max is the best person for a debrief because he's so keen to discuss every little thing that happened during the race. And most of the times no one wants to participate. He's just like talking with himself. Yeah,
he's probably been bored. Wants to know what was happening and all the actual fun stuff.
What was back there?
Yeah. Oh, it looked fun on the screens.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
TikTok calls it Max's podcast.
Really? I like it. Don't like him, but I like it.
Lewis also was funny during that cool down room where he was like, the start was just so fun to watch for me because I was just like getting like a gallery seat to everything. He was like, it was fun. Which I'm sure it was.
As he's got his fist like at Arthur, you know, and he's like fuming. You know what I was really waiting for? When Max and Lando were in there and they were talking, I was really waiting for them to like, I really wanted one of them to ask each other a question, which meant they were like going to start bitching about who's coming in next. So obviously Lewis, because he was the third person. And then like they get caught in HD, like bitching about Lewis, and Lewis walks in and he's like, then there's a massive fight. But that was just like, my mind had gone miles off. Yeah.
You thought it was Love Island?
Yeah. Imagine that. I saw Lewis was close. Yeah, he's a fucking dick. What did you say? You talking to me? And then all of a sudden it goes off. That would be like the dream.
That's like throwing it back to the Lewis and Nico Rosberg days where they were like throwing stuff at each other.
Oh, and that's it. Yeah, that was class.
I think it was Jensen Button who said like the camera is so obvious in that room that like it's hard to like turn it off. Like, it's not like Love Island where they have like 3 days to adjust to like the cameras being there and they forget about it. They like literally see a camera in their face.
Yeah.
So like it's hard for them to like
switch off properly. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still fun to hear them like discuss.
Defo.
Yeah. The podium, we both talked with each other about Zach Brown's wife. It's just like not a real human being. You called her from Whoville / I never processed that Zach was married. So I don't know why. It was just up. Everything was just like up.
Yeah, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up. Yeah, she looked amazing. Extremely tight everywhere.
It's like simultaneously very much what you would imagine Zach Brown's wife to be, but also doesn't match him at all.
Yeah, because he's the sort of person that wants somebody like that, but also doesn't look like he should be with somebody like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Exactly that. like he doesn't look like he should be a team principal, but he is. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's really started to piss me off more since the Daniel thing. I don't know if he was always this obnoxious or if I just like was blind to it. But he really bros out. When he's celebrating, it's truly, I think I told you this, like a beer, it looks like he's won a game of beer pong. Like he just like does not, it's like so ridiculous. Yeah.
Hey, Ted, come over here.
It's so American. He gets so American when he's celebrating. The only other thing that happened on the podium was Lando always has like the worst podium etiquette. Like for the first few podiums he's had, he like didn't like champagne. He didn't like alcohol, and it very much showed. Like every time he tried to like he'd get alcohol poured on him, he'd like grimace to the point where he's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But now I think he's like gotten accustomed to alcohol. So instead, Max was taking a photo with the like nice like lady who presented him the award, and Lando just directed like a very aggressive spout at both of them, and this poor lady got like soaked. Okay, so driver of the day was officially Lando, second week in the row. Runner-ups, I think Alex deserves a shout out. He did pretty well. Also, about Alex, during the post-qualifying interviews in the media pen, George pointed out that he was like bleeding on his shoulder. And Alex said that that spot bleeds every race from the downforce, and then it recovers in the week off. And then every time he gets back in the car, it reopens the wound. And he was like, this is normal because I'm tall. I don't think it's normal.
Should just get surgery and get it cut out. Get it cut out. It'd be easier.
I think it might be the Williams scar.
Yeah. Yeah, not a growth on his shoulder. Not that. Imagine that though. How painful would it be as well? Oh.
Yeah. I feel like it might feel like a carpet burn or something like that, where it's just like
slowly weeping and oozing.
Yeah. I can't believe he has it every week. That is insane to me.
Just put more strapping on, surely. Loads of bandages.
I mean, he says it goes through his fireproof clothes. It goes through the suit, through the shirt, through everything.
That's
which
weird.
is...
So it's fireproof but not rub-proof. Sounds like
not downforce proof. So poor Alex. So I think he's a runner-up besides the bleeding. And then I think also Oscar deserves a shout-out because I wrote what he lacks in personality, he makes up for in talent, but...
I can't wait for him to be your favorite driver, your favorite person.
Next year in Silverstone, he's going to be my favorite.
And I'm going to be like, I told you, give him a chance. The beige flag has struck again. He drove. I thought he did really well to stay, like, sort of pull away from the Ferraris and just like,
for sure.
Did really well and held the back of was on the back of Lando for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And to be fair, was just unlucky when Lewis pitted that he got out just ahead of him.
Yeah.
So,
Dick in the box. The only person I could come up with is Lance.
Yeah.
But, ish. I don't know who else sucked. Ferrari strategy, but also not even that much this race.
I don't know. I mean, Lance's was his fault, but Carlos did get, taken by 3 cars in 3 corners. That's just embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. But he was doing so well before that, so I don't know.
All right, Lance can have it. Lance can have it then.
No, we can give 2 Dick. There can be 2 Dicks. It's not limited to 1 Dick in the box.
I would say yeah, he was the dick, but then also Carlos looked like the biggest dick when that happened.
Yes, he did look like the biggest dick.
One of those embarrassing moments there.
Yeah. I'm sure he was embarrassed. He gets embarrassed by winning. So I don't even know how he feels when that happens to him.
Yeah, won't be sleeping for weeks.
I know. He's single now.
Oh, thanks for letting me know in that tone. I was definitely waiting to find out when he was single. Oh, Carlos.
I feel like it's important information for me.
Yeah, no, it's just the way he delivered it. Oh, can't wait.
You're going to act on it? Yeah, sorry for that.
I'll react to one of his stories next week.
Okay, so the results of the race were Max, Lando, Lewis, Oscar, George, Checo, Fernando, Alex, Charles, Carlos, Logan, Valtteri, Nico, Lance, Guan Yu, Yuki, Nyck, and then Pierre, Kevin, and Ocon all DNF'd. In the driver's standings, Max is still leading by 255 points, and Checo is behind him with 156, which is sad. Fernando has 137, Lewis has 121, and then everyone else is below 100. Carlos and George are 1 point apart from each other. I also want to note that Logan made it to P11, which is the closest I think he's ever made it to a point, which is better than Nyck. Do you think Nyck's going to get replaced before the year is out?
No.
You don't think?
No, I just think it costs a lot as well in these contracts, doesn't it? It's whether or not it's worth it, and who do you get in?
Daniel?
Nah, don't think so.
Okay, so the constructors is pretty much the same. Red Bull leads with 411. Mercedes is second with 203. That's 200 points behind. And after them is Red Bull with 181, and then Ferrari with 157, and then it's not even worth discussing. It's over 100 points under. And I guess that's it. I think we've been here for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's been a while, isn't it?
So that's it for the Silverstone Grand Prix. Thank you for joining us, Dyaus.
Thanks for having me. It's been amazing.
Next up is the Hungarian Grand Prix, where my brother is actually going to attend in real life with my cousin. So we will be getting real life insight. I also made them box shirts so they can promote it as they walk around. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe, share with potential boxes, and you can always DM me or email me your thoughts because I like to hear all box thoughts. Follow at BoxBoxF1 pod or email me. Anyway, see you soon. Box.
Bye. Box.